Welcome back to American Textbook Reading. I'm your host, Brian Stewart. Today we're going to talk about soil. We also call soil as dirt. Dirt. So sometimes we also call soil as dirt. But soil is a more scientific word for dirt, so let's call it soil, not dirt. So let's call it soil. Soil. We have different kinds of soil. We can have topsoil, we can have subsoil like the submarine or the subway, the parent materials, which is this yellow one, and the bedrock here. If you dig through the bedrock, you will see the mantle of Earth. But we also have sand. Sand is a kind of soil. Sand is mainly rough and dry. We can make sand castles out of sand. We also have clay. Clay is sticky and smooth. This is Mexican clay. We use to make pottery, pinch pots, and many others. And we also have another type of material, which is silt. Silt is smooth and powdery. So, do you know what is powdery? Just like when you get some sand and then you throw it at your friend, it will be very powdery. Or you'll get some flour and then dip it. You see that the flour is very powdery. But you can also see humus. Humus is soft and brown. But there is also a food named hummus. It's spelled like this, but it is like hummus. So don't get confused with it. Do not say, I want some hummus for dinner. Ugh, it's disgusting. You do not want to eat hummus. But hummus is delicious. It is very nutrition. It's very nutrition. It has a lot of nutrients for us and also plants and animals. Hummus is a mixture of dead animals, mammals, reptiles, or plants, which are blueberry trees, blackberry trees, and many other berries or other kinds of trees, not only berries. Then we also have a word that you need to pronounce it. Look at these layers of earth. Can you see the layers? Read it to me. Soil layers. So first you see we have 2D soil. Then it's really a soil, but we don't call it soil. This is not a soil either. It just has a little soil and we bury rocks there. Those rocks contain minerals and also contain fossils. So if you dig and 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 dig, after digging so much, you got some parent material. That material is used to make things. Like this parent material is used to make clay. It's very soft, smooth, and sticky. You can roll it into a circle, put your thumb into it, and then shape it into a pinch pot, get more clay, and then make it and make it and make it until it looks exactly like a pinch pot. And now, did you know that sand is very rough. Sometimes if you've got a wound and then that wound touches sand, it hurts a lot, doesn't it? It hurts a lot. So that's why it's rough. It's rough to make the wound rough, but it's also drying the wound, but it's also not good for your body. And now, look in the next page. Can you see the layers of the soil? In here they say top layer, middle layer, and bottom layer. But it's no, wrong. But intentionally, it has 4 layers. The organic layer, the topsoil, the subsoil, the parent material, and the bedrock. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's exactly wrong. They forgot to put subsoil and organic layer here. But they're just the layers. And now, look in the book again. Can you see different kinds of soil? We have clay, humus, sand, and silt. In here, we also have clay, humus, sand, and silt. But because humus and silt, I do not see it in my computer that I searched the website. So I just write it and then say that it's brown and soft, smooth and powdery. Why is silt smooth and powdery? Because it's a dirt. If you pick it up and throw it to the fence, trying to break the fence, then you will see the powder coming off your hand and the fence. Also, sand is like that. If you throw some sand into the sea, you will see powder coming off your hand. Or you can also do it with some soil. You can do it with topsoil and subsoil if you dig. But parent soil is a little hard to use, but it's also very hard. It's hard and sticky. If you use glue on it, it will stick forever. It does not break. Even if you use your sharpest and most muscular knife, you use your knife and cut, boom! The knife breaks. But if you use a door, then it will break. I'm just joking, but it will break. The whole rock and the table, or just Hulk's middle. And now, do you see this chart? After the chart, I will ask you some questions. Okay, I'll put the book onto the ground. Now look at these layers and these things. Write it on a list, but do not write the words. Do not write humus, silt, clay, sand, and all the layers, even the bedrock. But you still need to write dry and rough, sticky and smooth, brown and soft, and powdery and smooth, and soil layers. Now you know it. I'll turn it to the back. Now you can see nothing but lines. And now, in the first place, I'll turn it back and then turn the page like this. Now you cannot see it. You cannot see it. So now you cannot see it. You can only see white. Now I'll ask you the first question. What is sand? Rough, smooth, rough, dry, or smooth, sticky? As you know, it is rough and dry. Here it is. Wait, I'll turn the page. There. Now you can see that sand is rough and dry. But that sounds just one of my students. And now look at the word clay, humus, silt, and soil layers. What is the first soil layer? Is it organic layer, topsoil, or parent material? Which is it? I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you know, it is organic layer. Let's move on. What is the next layer? Is that layer parent material, bedrock, subsoil, or topsoil? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you know the answer? I know you do. So the answer is subsoil. The third layer is parent material, and the fourth layer is bedrock, and they are the soil layers. But we also have earth layers. If you continue under earth layers, all these layers are called the crust of the earth. But this is just a model, but actually the crust of the earth is from here, from the top of this thing to the very bottom of it. That's how the crust is like. But it's not like this, which is only from here to here. It's not like that. But actually the crust is very difficult to dig through. If you manage to dig through the bedrock, then you will see fire from volcanoes and from the mantle. Then you'll use your special drill, go into a rocket, collect the drill, and drill into the ground. You drill until you reach you drill until you reach the inner core, and then you drill a hole in the inner core, go through, and then you go back to the other side. And now, those are all the questions I need to ask you. Now let's take a short break, come back, and we'll do the speaking section. So don't go away. And so now, we are back. I know that it is 5 minutes already, so now let's begin. So now, do you want to start the speaking section? So now let's begin with the speaking section. I'll pick up my book. Now, when living things die, they decompose into the ground, or decompose into humus. Spell it with me. H-U-M-U-S. Humus. Humus is a mixture of dead plants and animals. Now, remember the word mixture. So, if you have some grains, like, do you know the granola box that it just delivered from me? Granola has lots of seeds and nuts and fruits and berries. So those are a mixture of nuts, fruits, berries, and beans. So that's what a mixture is called. You can have a mixture of marbles, red, yellow, blue, and orange marbles. And now, look at this. Now, did you know that in the next part, we're going to talk about... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Look at the next part. Can you see that in the next part we're going to talk about grains? Grains are like when you throw powder at your friend and then it only has one more piece on your hand. You can see it and smell it. So that piece is called a grain. But if you have one droplet of sweat, for example, it's not called grain, but it's only called sweat, or your liquid that comes from your hair when you're very hot. But did you know that so imagine you're eating an apple. If you eat the apple, you can see that the apple is very hard. As you eat in and in and in, you go through its layers. As like the earth, first you go in for the layers. After that, you go inner and inner and inner. So now, it's the end of the reading section. But before we before I say to you that it is almost over, I want to say to you a fact. The top layer of soil actually has a lot of humus, also minerals and rocks. And in the next one, and in the middle layer, it will have less humus, more rocks and minerals. And in the bottom layer is mainly the bedrock. So that's why it is wrong. It only has subsoil, parent material, and bedrock. It's all. But I forgot to say organic layer and the topsoil. I punched. Ching. And now, do you want me to ask a few questions? There are only 4 questions to answer. The first question is, animals and plants beep into humus when they die. So you have 3 possible answers. The first possible answer is bump. The second possible answer is decompose. And the third possible answer is save. So, does animals and plants save into humans when they die? No, no, no. Then does it bump into humans? Does they bump into humus when they die? No. But they decompose. Decompose means to break down. They break down into humus after they die or when they die. Or they decompose or break down into humus when they die. In the next question, it will be, plants use beep in humus to grow. The first possible answer is wood. The second possible answer is nutrients. And the third possible answer is sand. So what possible answer can you choose? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. Now, do you know the answer? Attentionally, you can see that it is nutrients. Do not say that answer is unintentionally. Means that just like it's not your attention, but the other's attention. But say that it's attentionally, as you know, attentionally, it is nutrients. Now, the next one will be grains of rock become soil when humus is mixed up with them. Other animals dig into them, or plants start to grow in them. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is animals start digging into them. And the fourth question is the top layer is mostly humus, and most plant roots are in the bottom layer, most plants' roots are in the middle layer, and most plants' roots are in the top layer. So the two top answers are wrong, and the third is correct. Now we finished our 4 questions. Now, if you want to watch more of my videos, all you have to do is search for my name, Brian, which is right here. I'll zoom it to you. Now, can you see it? It is the word Brian. 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 But you also need to write my lesson. American textbook reading. Science and Social Studies from 1 to 4, but the 4th book I'm still putting it up there so you can see it. But it also has 4 Science and Social Studies from 1 to 4, and also write my name and your favorite lesson. And so now, have a nice day and enjoy.